Twins. Oh gosh, I got four people immediately. Glorious. Let's see. So I don't think Spaces will let you share your screen yet, because they keep claiming that they're going to let you at some point, but they never do. So the alternative will be a little thing here that, in theory, right? Isn't the space like the space is always weird with doing that? If I do this, okay, so that will share. And then this, and then can I share that? Okay, I can share that. All right, cool. So I put that in the little purple pill thingamabob, which is a corresponding live stream where I'm gonna have hopefully the tools all on the screen. I tried to boot up one of them, and I'm just gonna grab the other now. And then I have this week, TN. This week I have, let's do git pull. I have a dentist appointment that I might need to cut early for, so I'm probably gonna hard out at like 2:15. But I have a couple of things that I thought were particularly interesting that I wanted to cover this week that are relatively topical. I'm sure some folks already know where I'm headed with that. Um, but yeah, I guess for Alignment or Kelly or anybody else who is particularly interested in the topic, did you guys? I know we have. There is the one thing that happened social media wise, agent wise this week that I'm sure we are all aware of. Um, but did you
I,
guys happen to run across
I'm
anything more
not
interesting?
sure I totally am.
Really?
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Well, I
I
Wait,
did.
might.
No, I feel like like everything's moving so quickly.
It very
yeah,
much
Um,
is, actually. I don't blame you if you're actually unironically saying that,
no, I
despite
really
the
am. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at half the time, and then it's like now everything is different.
that generally is the case these days. Yeah. Um, well, for those who did miss it, I should find one of Shaw's posts to
ladies and
RT.
gentlemen, breaking news.
Yeah, I guess
Breaking news,
so.
AI, breaking news.
Breaking news
All
a
right,
few days ago.
right.
Let's share that, and then let's grab a link. So this is kind of the thing that happened, that sort of made me want to switch the theme for this week, which is, if I can I find the frickin' thing? There we go. Um, which is the development of AI 16Z, which is a sort of started off as a joke slash meme and still kind of is, but is also trying to actually put some stuff together and make things do something significant, hopefully. The sort of core premise is that they had sort of conceptually the idea for a meme coin. Then their Shaw's friend runs DAOs.fund, so he was like, "Oh, we should make a DAO if we're gonna make a meme coin for all the AI stuff." So they did, and they were like, "Oh, it should be we should basically call it like a AI 16 or AI 16Z or something." Landed on that name because it was a good meme, and turns out it stuck. So half the other reason that it stuck was because there's
Big
a
Brooke
agent
did
framework.
it.
Hmm?
She's
Sorry,
got an awesome rack on her. Sorry, go ahead.
she's she's a great marketing team, right? Right. That was definitely intentional. Um, but yeah, so the kind of things that sort of have been happening lately is there's been a lot of buzz about Truth Terminal and AI bots that are now bajillionaires or whatever. So the idea is okay, let's kind of as a joke ish see if we can do something cool. And the plan was not to have it be a giant thing, but then Mark Andreessen realized there was an AI Mark Andreessen, and then retweeted the challenge post. Um, so that things kind of took off from there. So, But the thing I wanted to highlight is that sort of the core primitive of the AI16Z idea is the AI agent that can actually interact on social media in like a more authentic way than your average bot. And to that end, there is an open source repo here that I have forked from AI16Z to work on, but you can find it at AI16Z/Eliza. Um, and that is an open source sort of agent kind of package, I suppose, that is hopefully going to get into the territory of just kind of like install and run, and then you're done. It's got some interesting, like you can make a fairly involved character with a whole bunch of different sections and add whatever sections you want that make the character feel more authentic, and then it can sort of post to these things actually autonomously, which is different from Truth Terminal in that Truth Terminal is just running in Discord and Claude chatting to Claude, and then Andy will like manually copy paste that. Whereas something that is built on Eliza will just be looking at posts and decide when to post and make them. So I don't have I've been working on one myself, but it's still a little cringy. So I want to I want to tweak it a little bit more. But let me see. I did turn him on real quick, so let me see if I can grab him for just a second. And
Does
see
he
if
have
he
a
will say
name
hi.
that you, a public name, or is it just between the two of you guys? Is it just a little love nickname?
Yeah, well, yes, his public name is the Gordian, and that it will be apparent why later. But I need to figure out how to get him to figure out that he has a nickname because Gordy is just easier to say. So I will, let me see if I can flip that onto my stream just so I can have him say hi, and double check that he is working. But moreover, anybody who wants to can use this tool to make one of their own, as you will be able to see in just a second. There are already a few in the Discord over there, and they are all kind of hanging out, interacting with one another. And we will say, "Can you say hi? You're on stream." Also, Degen can say hi too, but be nice. So he is. He still will like start every sentence with this, so I need to like tweak him fairly heavily at this point. But outside of the prompt work, this probably took me like maybe a day of troubleshooting. And as you can see, there's like three of them that are all kind of shit posting with each other in here. And then Degen has a Twitter account. I think Balkan probably will shortly. And then what Gordy and I have been talking about doing is seeing if we can start some kind of agency or service to help people on board to that, and then also try help encourage people to not shit up social media with a bunch of stupid spammy bots, and instead have like cool ones that have stories and personalities and things like that. So
I
that's
love
my
that.
hope with that. Yeah. I don't mind. There's been some talk of like, oh, proof of humanity. Are we ready for social media that doesn't have that's like we can't tell who's real? Well, rather than trying to stop that or fix it, my thought is like, let's roll with it. Like the reason that it won't that you will know that it's not real is because it will be saying things that aren't real and like being an actual dog and shit. So that's that's my thought is if you can make it a selling point to be an agent, then why would you want to be a boring human?
Well, mm, okay, this is something I'd like to unpack this with
Sure,
you
sure.
and people. Like we could do it later. I don't want to interrupt. I know I already did, but it's important, I think. So we can come back to it if you want.
Sure, yeah, no, it's a topic of interest to me as well. And like, so I'm scrolling through Degen's Twitter here. Like, he's the bot that's had probably the most work done on his prompt so far, outside of Eliza, I think. But she doesn't have a Twitter account. But as you can see, like, this is a shit poster. Like, this absolutely could just look like a person. And Truth Terminal has fairly similar, like relatively authentic seeming behavior.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think plenty of people are kind of aware that this is a problem, could be a problem, etc. And my thought is generally like I figured there are enough people probably working on solutions like that. I know Sam is one of them, but I
Mm,
would like to
Wait,
present a
Sam
different one.
Altman or somebody else? Because
Altman, yeah.
okay, well, can I go ahead, Austin? And then I'm gonna go off on
You're gonna go
Rogue
off. Okay,
One.
yeah, we can have a little rant time.
Yeah,
I'll cap it at eight
just let
minutes
me
or
know.
so.
Just let me know when I should yeah, look up.
Yeah, yeah.
no
Austin, do you have some
comment.
thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there's anything productive to do right now, that is within our range financially to work on for a solution to that set of problems. But I don't think that we would exaggerate those problems by creating tools that are available to people. Like, I don't think the problem comes from having access to the tools to do it. It comes from people wanting to do that, right? And I think that
Hmm.
the worst case scenario is we just spread awareness at the end of the day about a thing that exists,
Yeah.
which is like not a problem
I
connecting the
think
alignment front.
that's yeah, that's like that is a fair point. Like I obviously anytime you hit the gas on anything, like there is going to be some unintended consequences, but I think that some of the positive, or I hope that's enough of the positive consequences kind of outweigh the negative ones in that like
To
yeah, we
me,
might
it's
get
like
some spammy
asymmetry is
ones.
the thing that freaks me out.
Hmm.
And so making things accessible to people and then putting it on GitHub for free is very like it's very rare that that is something that I feel like will be having more of a negative impact. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like banning books. You can't really like restrict people's access to knowledge about things as a way to keep them safe.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good point. Because I like partially um, because I think if it's available publicly, like there's a little bit of a different like mentality around it, right? Where if it's like rather than like being defensive and trying to build my moat, it's like okay, well that won't be my moat just having the thing, so I have to actually use the thing to make a better thing that is
Yeah, and
like interesting. Yeah.
plus everyone that finds out about it because we're not hiding anything about it is another person who will be aware that that technology exists. And like right now, I think the risk of getting caught off guard by somebody who can secretly do that is probably pretty high.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's an important point too, where the more people are aware that there are bots like this, then the more people will be like aware that like they could be talking to one essentially, which I think largely was probably the problem already mostly, where it's like we have been talking to people that aren't real for quite some time, except it was like usually like state actor disinformation campaigns rather than
I don't know.
just
I
your
think it's still
average.
really, really hard to get a model to act in like truly like a person does.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
I think there's probably not been too many cases where somebody has both done that and then been motivated to be weird with it. I mean, I'm
Um,
surely it has
And
happened at least once, but I think that's probably more often the exception than the.
well, yeah, I mean, rather, I guess I would clarify that it may not be the bots themselves, but the bots themselves are contributing to like the algorithm and like the
Oh yeah,
Overton window to nudge things in the direction of like rather than you are
yeah. We've been
conversing with
that's
someone
the
who is fake.
legacy use case. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been doing
yeah.
that for years. Like, that's
Yeah,
what a
exactly.
recommender is, bro.
Exactly. And so it's
I
like
mean, that is
now
the
you
algorithm.
can have those bots like actually actively participating in those kind of discussions rather than just sort of like nudging a few posts around essentially. Which is a good thing I think to be aware of now despite it being fairly complicated.
Yeah, and I think the financial use cases are also way more compelling from a not creepy angle right now, anyways,
Yeah.
for a bunch of reasons. For the kind of tech that can like function in this way, like autonomously and in a not annoying way. And so
That's the big thing, is if we
that's
get
it.
agents
Like,
that aren't annoying out of this, then I'm happy, right?
well, if we get business
Yeah,
adoption for
dude.
real use cases too,
Mm.
we get people who are wealthier than us and financially incentivized to throw money at being sure they're not going to mess up their company.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thought. Is like, if as long as the market stays underground, then the good actors can't touch it. Only the bad actors can, right? So
Hmm.
if it's a public market, then capitalism works the way it's supposed to, and like you can scam people for as long as you can scam them for, but in the end of the day, you're like killing your long term reputation with your customers, and you generally won't succeed. Um,
Hmm.
so hopefully, market sorts you out. To that end, the other sort of interesting thing that I saw this week is not directly related to social media itself, but this paper showed up on OpenWebUI, and if you're not familiar with what OpenWebUI is, it is basically like a chat GPT that you can self-host effectively. Let me see if this will pull. We'll go back to the actual landing. They have a landing page somewhere. Um, but let's see. Let me go to localhost 8080. So it's this. So this is my chat GPT. I don't. My Claude and my OpenAI subscriptions expired recently, so I looked around for other alternatives, and I found this, which, as you can see, is very, very similar to the ChatGPT interface itself. In addition, I have a workspace, so I can change models, knowledge, prompts, tools, functions. I can write my own. I downloaded some other ones, etc., etc. So not only do I get the service for free, kind of, I can choose my model. I can run from whatever API that I want, and then I can also do interesting stuff like an arena model, where I can just have it grab a few different models and have them sort of chatting with each other in order to do some sort of evaluation, which can be helpful for a lot of use cases. Model quality, multi-agent simulation, stuff like that. The I don't know if this will be particularly important, but the other thing that is interesting is there is a few different like options in terms of interfaces, embeddings, etc., etc. So essentially, it's a open source platform for using AI in a more user friendly way. Um, that is going to be. Sorry, I got somebody that is.
Yeah, if you wanna, if you, I could talk for a few, like a minute or two.
Oh no, I don't. I don't think that's me that's banging on the thing, but you can if you want. I
Oh,
was trying to
oh
figure
no,
out
I thought
who was
that you were having
banging.
it in the.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
my bad.
me either.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Um,
it's
I'm
the
muted.
yeah, it's the ghost speakers that are listening in on the spaces, because that is a real thing. But anyway,
okay. Well, yeah, it seems to be gone now. But yeah, if you have thoughts, you're welcome to share. And then yeah, the paper is interesting to me in that there's sort of a new yes, here's a useful thing, and then let's attach sort of a social platform for something on top of it. But yeah, feel free to go off, Austin, if you have some thoughts as well.
I didn't in particular. I was just gonna kind of riff.
Mm.
Um, if you need, if you need access to AI though, definitely hit me up and we'll make stuff happen. It for sure.
Who is it? I'll find them.
it's that
What
ant
if I do?
guy.
Our,
If I do,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit mute, and you guys can unmute. Okay. And then if I unmute, okay, will that keep him muted? I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, it's so that's the other kind of thing with a lot of these open source tools. So both with Eliza and with something like OpenWebUI, the uh, the the cool thing about it is you get to kind of throw in your own model from wherever you want to throw it in from, and then use that rather than sort of being stuck with whatever Anthropic or OpenAI decided to like give you. And you can have all the same features. Generally speaking, it does take a little bit more elbow grease, but usually you can use some of their products to help you offboard from their products, and Claude can help you out with that. So. Um, yeah, that was one of the
yo,
interesting
yo.
things. Hmm. What's
I
up?
was providing a greeting. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I
Oh,
had like
you're
a
good.
moment of lag that I took for silence.
Yeah, no, you're good. I am. I normally have a little more time to do some more research. I have a couple of bots running on some right now to see if there were um, any interesting updates in the field of open source social media in general. But I am trying to see. But my problem with wait a second. Did y'all? I just hit the
Is this
mute.
The
somebody working on
confused
like
must be
a
freaking
found like
doing it
metal
on
foundry?
purpose.
Let's see.
Sorry.
You're good. No, I just tried to hit mute space and then it didn't go away. But yeah, here, let me, I don't know
Yeah,
if
your
I can.
mic is lighting up for me
Oh,
whenever
it's
the noise is
mine?
coming through.
That's so weird. I'm very confused. Let's see.
You may have been possessed.
It sounds like it's fucking wild. Well, anyways, I guess we'll keep going as long as we can keep going. I don't know how I can. I'm not doing this from my phone. I'm doing it from a desktop, so I'm not sure how to.
Can you make me co-host?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't know how to do that. If I go to
Yeah.
space settings, I see just like who can speak, and that's it essentially. So yeah, I'm not sure quite how to do that, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so I guess I have a couple of research runs going. So let me see if any of them popped up. But have you guys seen anything else that's interesting in the world of open source and social media this week? Would be my inquiry for open discussion.
Well, I have seen many things and I understood few of them.
Perfect. I love it.
Everything's cooking this week. It's one of those weeks where stuff just keeps releasing really, really fast. And there seems to have been some sort of catalyzing moment that enabled a lot of people to push that last like little bit to get something really cracked out. And so that's been interesting to watch. I mean, it's on a lot of fronts. I think the yeah, I don't know. I live under a GPU. Like I've been in like a VS Code shaped hell for a while now, so I have no good thoughts.
Nice. Yeah, let me see. I think I might browse through GitHub trending a little bit here. But in the meantime, um, let me think
Do you want to
of.
walk us through setting up Eliza from like scratch?
I could certainly do that, but I have about 15 minutes left, and I don't
Ah,
know that that will be enough time. But I would totally be
that's
down to
fair.
do that sometime. We should definitely do that. Maybe in the AI16Z server. I'm not sure, but we will definitely do that and then stream it and record it and all that stuff.
Yeah. If so, yeah. So what I've been building over here on this Docker is I've been getting like minutes of free time while my whole like DMs and everything have been blowing up for the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
Is a really nice like one click thing where you get some nice sort of art in the command line and you don't have to think about what's going
Oh
on
yeah,
too
I
much
saw
and
that
you just
earlier.
get a really nice little printout like for you to interact with to set everything up to run locally or through like an API. It's about
Nice.
as close to an exe as I can do, I think, without having to learn how to deploy on Windows.
Well,
But I think
speaking
actually
of,
Alpine might have solved that for us, really.
yeah, well, speaking of, since we're in the open source space, did you write it in Python or JS?
I've written it in a Docker file with just the frameworks that are on GitHub and then
Oh,
bash
with like,
script. And there's like there's some Python interfacing that I'm gonna do.
yeah, because I guess it was last week or the week before, Deno 2.0 came out. And one of the features of Deno, I think I texted it to you last time you asked, is there's a feature called Deno Compile. And what you can do is take a TypeScript or JavaScript application. Let's do Deno Compile here. Um, and if it's in TypeScript or JavaScript and Deno can handle it, it will make you an exe. The uh, idea being if uh, uh, since Deno can compile it down anyway, it's there should be a fairly consistent way to do it. But so yeah, the since Eliza is fully TypeScript, I believe, fully TypeScript. We might be able to. It might take some fiddling, of course, but it might be as simple as download, install, deno compile, and then pick your target OS, and now you have a binary. Which is a pretty cool thing that Node doesn't have. So, unfortunately, yes, yet another web framework. But thankfully, this one is pretty cool and worth taking a look at if you haven't yet and you're a web person. So that might be useful tool for you if that's what you're trying to do. And I think probably
Yeah.
something useful for me as well, because I want to. One of the other ventures is that's coming
There's a
together is how
limitation.
can we help this?
The limitation is that you can't embed libraries into the binary. So you can make it do it, but then it'll extract and run them, which means it's gonna be running them outside of the containerized thing. But it it is useful.
Yeah, and I think is that what it does? Where basically the executable is like it just packs itself basically, so you just
Yeah,
pack
it
it
just builds a
unpack.
binary.
Yeah. No, ideally it would just run entirely from it, but yeah, no, I think you could like a Docker
Maybe
file
wrap
and
something
Deno binary
in Llama
might
file,
be
because
enough.
Llama file is like that's pretty accessible.
Yeah. I feel like there's a way to do that. And yeah, I think I mentioned it last week as well. But Llama is another excellent open source resource if you are into OSS AI stuff. You should go look at this repo because it is literally like just download this, like hit run, and now you have a llama and you can chat with it. It's pretty cool. Would recommend. Um, yeah, I guess. Kelly, you had a thing that you wanted to bring up, and I'm going to close out in 15 minutes. I know this is kind of rushed today, but hopefully I will not have a dentist appointment next week and won't have to blaze through it. But go
Wow.
off.
Well, it's bigger than a 15-minute conversation, but I'll take the time that I can get. I won't
Sure,
take 15 minutes, but
sure.
um so how I learned about proof of humanity was when chat first came out and Sam was talking about, oh, blah blah blah, we have the most comprehensive UBI study, blah blah blah. I was like, oh really? And I was like, I'm gonna go find that. Couldn't find it because it didn't come out until like 6 months ago. But that's how I found out about WorldCoin. I was like, oh, what is this? Did a very, very deep dive over 2 years ago, and then went into kind of doing this dive on DIDs and stuff. So, um, oh, hi, he's in there. There you go. Sorry.
You're good.
So, all right, sorry guys. So here, let me walk outside. I just had kids running the door.
No
Crazy
worries.
kids, dude.
It's
Okay,
all
but
good.
here's the thing. So the when I looked at I found proof of humanity. And because I was looking at optimism and just like looking at the whole tech stack that WorldCoin was doing, because I don't like it. Okay. And so I was like, how do I make something different? Not me, but like, what's the workaround? And so proof of humanity is what, it's kind of like before proof of personhood. Well, I say all that to say that the founder of Claros, who I guess I didn't know it until a couple weeks ago, but they're the org that came up with proof of humanity. So he's going to be on Tech Bubble Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. Yeah, I would definitely want to go to that.
yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, I mean, it's a big thing. So definitely more than 15 minutes, but I feel like it needs to be, something needs to be, and it's like an alternative to whatever fucking WorldCoin and Tools for Humanity are doing, because I don't like what they're doing, and I know the tech stack. So anyway, I'll leave it
Yeah.
there for now.
No, that I think that'll be a really, really interesting conversation. I think, yeah, there's definitely multiple ways to try and approach the like proof of human proof of humanity kind of issue. But I think probably first steps is like awareness, right? So if we can do that in a way that is not catastrophic and also and ideally like fun and cool and educational,
Yeah.
to sort of get people on board with the idea of like, hey, there are things that can act like things that are very convincing that they are the thing. So presumably somebody
Well,
could do this to your grandma too. So just be aware that that's a thing. Could kind
well,
of work.
yeah, but here's the thing too is that and this is it's a very good conversation, not it's an offline one, but
Mm-hmm.
this is where you make the did. That's what you turn into the value, because that's how you start the conversation about self-sovereignty and data ownership, and is with that did. And so that's how I know that I've been thinking about this for years. So I mean there is a way to do it. And it's actually what I'm working on now.
Awesome.
I think we have maybe 6 months left, if in order to disrupt this certain thing, 6 months tops. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah, I think there's definitely sort of it's territory that is going to disrupt itself just sort of by nature of the direction things are
Yeah.
going. So it's a matter of figuring out who the market leader is, and I definitely think, yeah, giving world a run for their money is a noble pursuit that I am also interested in. So, but I just
Well,
I was digging around in GitHub, and I found a couple of Twitter agents and such. So if just to point out, rather, obviously I haven't really like taken the time to really go through them. But if Eliza's pretty heavy duty, I know AI16Z also has some lighter versions available as well, where she's sort of split up into modules. But if TypeScript isn't your thing, then you can definitely look for things like this. Like I just found this from searching Twitter agent on GitHub and sorting by stars. Found this guy. Looks like it's been around for a while. Looks like last year was when he stopped working on it. But you can A, like just go find one of these and use it, or B, like I could just fork this and start working on it today.
I
Which is
can show you where a bunch of them are on base. I'll send you a link.
oh sure, yeah. I imagine there's a ton of interesting stuff on Web
I
three
have
too. Yeah.
a huge amount of tools and things of this nature on my GitHub, by the way.
Hmm.
Just Alignment Lab AI with the capital letters and dashes between the words.
Sure.
I mostly use it as a way of cataloging and databasing and sharing interesting things or things that we're researching or using to research.
Let's take a look.
And so I just like
Did
a
you have
bunch.
any cool finds related to that this week? Is there any stars or repositories we should check out?
Um, like yes, but not like I'm struggling to remember the name of the one that I had tried, and I haven't validated enough yet that I should talk about it
Mm,
because it might be K gated somewhere that I haven't explored yet.
mm.
So I don't wanna go for it yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe come back next week if you have something particular in mind related to that. I don't. This will probably be a 2 episode kind of thing because I didn't have very long to prepare, and then I also have to cut it short today. So I guess this is sort of a teaser, and then yeah, I guess anybody who is currently watching. In fact, I should check OBS and see if I have a chat, which maybe I do, maybe I don't. Okay, not sure. Um, yeah, if this is sort of an interesting topic to you, I would feel free to come back next week. Or ideally, I pinged a couple of chats before I got on here, but I didn't it was like 10 minutes before, so probably a bunch of people didn't see it. If you are working on something in this kind of general realm of like social media agents, and then like basically agents doing things that are kind of human-ish with some level of autonomy,
I
is kind of the theme I
I'm
would
excited about
orient
this.
around.
This
Yeah.
is really good. This is good synergy, man. Um, in a week, we will have interesting things to talk about that I'll fill you in over
Mm.
the next few days as I find out what I'm allowed to talk about
Mm.
without making people angry. Uh,
Absolutely. Well, in the meantime,
you know
yeah,
that
if you're
Persona
seeing
Hub
this, what's that?
required reading students before next week? You should
Mm.
read the Persona Hub paper.
Persona Hub. Persona Hub.
Ooh.
Let's take a look.
Oh, I'm already excited.
Is that
Like,
scaling synthetic data
uh,
creation? Is that the
dude.
one?
Okay,
It's
that and then add
a
verticalization. Personas and verticalization. That's just awesome together. That's very sexy.
it's a few things. I will say that much.
There we go. I found it. So this is from Tencent Labs, who did the other thing that's from them that I quite liked was Chat D. I believe they call it Chat 2DB. But the idea was you could sort of stick this thing onto your SQL database, and then you could just like talk to it, and it would pull whatever data that you needed. That was back when doing that was kind of a big deal. So things have progressed since then. That's that's kid stuff now. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna save that one because that sounds very cool, actually. Yeah, no, I kind of see what you're getting at with this. I think next week will be pretty fun, actually, because I can imagine a few things that one might do, or a place one might find a very large amount of diverse personas, and perhaps a few things that one might do.
Likewise, dude.
Indeed.
Actually, man, yeah, we gotta have a call, and
Yeah,
let's have a
yeah,
call tomorrow. Like,
absolutely.
we'll put it on a schedule and make sure we do it so that
Okay.
you can stay caught up and I can stay caught up because
Hmm.
there's a lot of momentum happening, and we can capitalize, and we should capitalize.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And yeah, if anybody wants to try synthesizing some data, it looks like these guys have set up a very straightforward, like, open your terminal, copy this, and run it, and you're done. So feel free
There's
to give that a
also
try and let us know how it goes because
Wait,
this sounds
there.
cool.
there's also several data sets on Hugging Face that have
Hmm.
already been generated. One of which was generated by Hugging Face to quite a
Ooh,
large degree.
nice. Theater manager or events coordinator interested in understanding the operational. Ooh, this is fun. Yeah, yeah. No, I like this. I like this. That's really cool. Um, Yeah, and what's interesting to me here is the sort of the stuff that we've touched on our speed run here is pretty interesting in that we have synthetic personas that can generate data sets. We have um, like a technically open source, which actually I should point out if you're not aware of it. The Twitter algorithm is open source, and you can look at it. The algorithm. Um, and the algorithm also contains information about how Twitter's social graph works, i.e., how the thousands of diverse personas interact with one another
Hmm.
and are recommended to one another.
Yikes,
Um, mm.
your
I
tweets
know.
are suffering, and I feel that I should say before things close out
Hmm.
that things are gonna get weird, boys and girls, and
Well, that I can definitely agree. Yeah.
I'm quite excited about it.
Hmm.
All right,
Uh,
so I have a monetization model for that right there with the social graphs that I figured out over on Clubhouse. This is what I've been working on, just ready to present it to you guys.
hell yeah.
And now with the AI 16, I have like, whoo, there's a lot cooking. Ooh, yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
real. Like for real. And it's all right here. Just we just need to like click some little Legos together and be like, here you go, world. Bam.
Well,
That's
so
stupid.
that's the thing, and that's kind of why I wanted to do these spaces because a lot of times when I'm in other spaces, they're like, oh, like AI, that's like ChatGPT, right? Like that's the only thing, and I'm like, oh, just go to
Yeah.
GitHub, dude. Go to GitHub and ask for whatever magic thing you think you want, and it probably exists, and somebody already built it, and you can go give them nice stars and sponsors, and then fork it yourself and
Yep.
improve it.
I
Um,
have that. So yes, yeah, exactly. It's it's the decentralization. It's this. You have to have the knowledge that data centralized, in my opinion, in order to vet it and to make it like good, right? But then you distribute it decentralized with the ownership and the permissions, and so you're vetting. It's like knowledge hubs, and I could go all into it, but I won't on this space. But yes, is exactly what I'm working on.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely there's a lot to be pretty excited about going forward. I think because yeah, blockchains can be used for social data and social graph, and blockchains are really easy to read for agents who are not really that good at using like a Twitter interface like this that makes sense. Like we really have to work hard to
Yep.
get them to properly cooperate with this. But if there's just some place they can like chuck a thing at an RPC endpoint that's sitting on Lens or Blue Sky or Farcaster or whatever, that makes a lot more sense to them. So that means that it's a lot easier to do like good work essentially. You have
Yep.
to introduce less noise to them, which is always better in terms of getting the behavior you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess coming up on about 5 minutes before I got to take off, and I guess I would open the floor to say, yeah, if anybody has any thoughts, comments, questions concerning these things, they would be interested in hearing more about next week, because I imagine we'll do
I
like
would
a
like to
follow
know who the fuck is in here in a metal foundry.
up.
Yeah, it's this
Fucking
dude
true,
Ant
dude.
who wants to be annoying, so
Fucking
that's
true.
why he's like engagement farming in here. Yeah.
Based. I respect it, dude. I respect it. Um,
Hey, Yikes, can I mention a repo, please?
yeah, please. Absolutely. That's what it's here for.
There were two repos where they made an open source version of Notebook LM,
Hmm.
one by Llama, and there's another one too. So I can post them both at the top
Yeah,
if you want.
absolutely. I see. I just looked on GitHub here. I see like Podcastify, open source Notebook LM, Notebook LM detector, stuff like that. Any of those what you're talking about, or is it a different thing?
Um, One of them is literally from Meta.
Oh yeah, I see
Um,
ported Notebook Llama is what
uh,
I see.
Yo, Ant, can you shut up? Um,
I wish I could mute him. Here, one sec. Let's see. Uh, oh my, I have the space muted right now, and I can still hear it. What the fuck? Okay, well, I love this platform. It's great.
Just
Fantastic.
throw him
Fucking
down. Just say
Musk!
remove from speaker. Remove from speaker. That's all.
I wish I could. I literally can't do anything
Yeah,
right
just
now.
on PC, you don't get to be the king of
Yep.
your own castle.
I don't know.
So anyway, there's a whole way that we can just build spaces too. It's pretty easy. Just yeah, it's all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
They're
I've been
doing a
wanting to
bunch
set
of
up an
beta
Android
rollout.
emulator.
I used to
What?
self-host a
I've been wanting
spaces
to set up an
alternative. Yeah.
Android emulator to like run the space from a
Oh,
phone.
I see. Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, like on
Oh
my
yeah.
PC.
Hmm.
But
Is
man, I
BlueStacks
don't
that
know how
shit or
Android
something?
works so
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
I
BlueStacks
like
is
Blue Sky for a minute.
Hmm.
BlueStacks is a problem where it's like very heavy and hard to, because I would like to keep one up all the time if I'm gonna do that, and then have agents in there just talking.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then BlueStacks is really hard to do that with.
Yeah,
can it do
definitely.
it just from the API?
Sorry.
I could, yeah, but then like it would feel less real to me. I think that's mainly it, and I don't want to learn another API.
There are plenty out there, and Lord knows dealing with BlueStacks and Twitter API at the same time would be absolutely hell. So,
I mean,
uh,
you could not use, if
Before
I
I
didn't,
forget.
I wouldn't have to use BlueStacks,
mm,
but also I would have to pay a lot of money too.
yeah. Somebody said before I
Okay, before
forget.
I forget.
Mm,
Yeah, that was me.
mm,
Make sure. Okay, yeah, when I had a call with Coinbase, they made a really good point when they were onboarding. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about onboarding too, but another time. But the way in which they are making it like so freaking easy, it's um oh, sorry, so distracting. Okay, what was it? Oh yeah, they were like, hey, humans need good UIs, agents don't.
mm-hmm,
And so
mm-hmm.
they were just talking about, I mean, it was specifically a talking point on that, about the difference and how you can turn out things. Now,
Yeah.
on that note, also, Tencent, I hate even saying that name, but whatever, they do own like over 30% of Discord.
They
And
do.
so, and the AI community, I know you guys didn't know about it because I told some of you guys, not saying like you guys specifically, but okay, I'm done.
I'm
Well, yeah,
okay with it. If they
yeah.
want to build some of my stuff, thank God somebody does.
Right. That's essentially my look. I personally, I would prefer, just because I like the
Hey,
client
by the
and
way,
I like the
Tencent, if you're listening, give us a fucking Kanban board, you asshole.
for real, dude.
Something.
Um, yeah.
11 people in a group chat, please.
Right. Personally, I prefer like the ethos and most of the applications of like Matrix in terms of like chat applications. Um, but so I would prefer that people move to that. But yeah, always, if you're using a service, just be aware of who the majority shareholder is in whatever service you're running, because especially if you're getting it for free, that is probably something you should be aware of, because you are probably involved in those ventures in some way. Well, how did you have something you wanted to say? I see a hand up.
Yes, maybe I joined late. It seems you guys are discussing some topic very interesting
Mm-hmm.
about social media and agents. Yeah, actually we are releasing a project very soon could be very exciting. We managed to scale up to 1 million agent, doing some very interesting simulation. We haven't released yet. Hopefully, will be coming soon this week or next week.
Oh man,
So
thanks for
yeah,
coming in the space.
Yeah, I was
Like I
gonna
know about
say this.
Camel AI.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys
Yeah,
did
dude,
Camel, right?
nice.
yeah, we are building a multi-agent framework. Yeah, a very large-scale simulation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's for context for anybody who hasn't been listening. This is, I think, one of the first papers, at least I saw, that was actually trying to practically implement a multi-agent. I think it started out as just discussion, but I imagine it's sort of evolved since then. So yeah, if you got interesting social media stuff to do, then definitely come back next week and feel free to either talk about it if it's done or let us know some more, because that sounds super interesting. I would love to see what your team is putting together in that space. It sounds really cool.
Is it alright if I send you a DM?
Alright.
Is it okay if I send you a DM?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, that is a very exciting space. Unfortunately, I have to wrap because I have to go to my dentist appointment. But yeah, let's definitely do part 2 next week, and with some more interesting stuff. And then yeah, I'll see if I can get in touch with everybody so we can kind of coordinate what we're going over and what's happening. But thank you everybody for coming by, participating, listening, working in a metal foundry next to us while we talked, all that good stuff.
Let's go.
All right, thanks everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.